So, a question that I thought everybody universally agreed on, apparently they don't. Who is supposed to do the mapping? Today on Greyhawk Grognard. And just a reminder, this is a collaboration video with Joe the Lawyer and Erik Tenkar. My video is going to be on their channels, and their videos are going to be on my channel. So like and subscribe to everything, and listen to all of our different opinions on the subjects that we randomly selected. So today the question is, who's supposed to do the mapping? When you're in the dungeon and the DM says, "Oh, the corridor goes 30 feet in front of you," and then tease, you know, is the DM supposed to write that out on the table on like a map, and then you move your figures along if you're using figures? Is that supposed to happen, or is it supposed to be player's job to make the map from what I describe? And I think that's the case. This is one reason I don't like VTTs, is because you're by definition, you're seeing the map and which the DM has created, and and it's scrolling around on the screen, so you know where you are at any given time. I don't think that's how the game is supposed to be played. I think that diminishes the game when you do that, and I'll tell you why. Because when you look at something like Castle Mad Archmage, my mega dungeon, when you have a dungeon level like this, part of the fun, part of the exploration process, part of the experience is for the players to make a map of this based on the description that you give. And by definition, they're going to screw it up. That's just part of the process, and it is part of the fun. When I run this at conventions and somebody's making a map, and then they realize that it can't possibly be right because because a corridor is like going into a place that they thought they'd already explored. That is the fun, part of the fun of the game. It's the exploration. And when you take that away, then you're taking away part of the experience of exploring the dungeon. Um, Not only is it more realistic that way, because, in real life, if you're crawling around in a dungeon, moving 60 feet per minute or whatever, trying to count out your paces to find out how long this corridor is, you're not going to have infallible information in game. So playing on that, leaning into that idea that, yes, your mapping is going to be imperfect, and sometimes that means you're not going to know where you are, is part of the game. And if you take that out, it diminishes the game. Now, so there's also some practical reasons, because I always use a lot of mappy tricks, right? I use sloping passages, I use moving walls, I use teleporters, I use elevator rooms, and the idea is you're supposed to help the players get lost, because finding your way out again is part of the fun. It also ratchets up the tension, because if you're starting to run low on hit points and you're starting to run low on potions and spells and everything, and you suddenly realize, I don't know where the stairs are to get out of here, then you immediately add tension to the game. And when you add tension to the game, it makes the game more exciting. And I think that's a good thing from a narrative storytelling point of view. If the players, especially because of their own lacking abilities to make the maps, if it's even sweeter if it's their fault that they're lost. But that's where the tricks come in, because you could help them get lost if you want. Um, and of course, if they're running, then you're not giving them any map directions, any map instructions at all. You're just saying, okay, you can go straight or right. Okay, you can go left or right. Okay, you can go straight or right. And they just instantly have to choose, and then you know where they are because you have the map and you're watching them. You're watching them move around and you're tracking where they are, but they don't know where they are on any map. They're running blindly. So this is one reason I think that you doing the mapping for them removes an element from the game that I think is actually really important and part of the fun. The it's just as if when you take out, for example, paying attention to food and water. If you just hand wave that, you're taking an element out of the game that can really be used to increase the tension. And I think you get that same effect when you remove the need for the players to create their own maps. Um, and there's also the possibility that the person doing the mapping um, gets loses the map somehow. It could be destroyed in a fireball, or they could die and get eaten by a purple worm, and there goes your map. So, there's definitely reasons to keep player mapping in the game, both from a practical standpoint and a storytelling standpoint. And anybody who says otherwise is just wrong, Joe. So anyway, uh, anyway, I would love to hear your opinions on this one. I'm sure there are there's many strong voices in both camps on this. Do watch Joe and Erik's videos on the same topic. I don't really know what they're going to be saying, although I have an idea what Joe's going to say. But do check them out. Hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'd love to hear you chime in. Hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll talk to you all later. Thanks for watching today's video. Please remember to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Below you'll find links to my Patreon, which helps make these videos possible. You'll also find the web store where you can buy my books, and my blog where you'll find all sorts of free downloads and other articles. Thanks, and have a great day.